Well, listen, I think Max Holloway is the more diverse striker. I think that he can do a lot of things on his feet, and his frame can definitely pose a lot of problems for Frankie Edgar. When we're talking about Max Holloway, we're talking about the greatest featherweight of all time, just based on what he did and how he was able to but he definitely has a very different skill set than a Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo had some tremendous takedown defense. I think Max Holloway hasn't faced the same caliber of wrestler that Jose Aldo has. And I think Frankie Edgar is the first true test when it comes to wrestling that Max Holloway has faced. Yeah. Frankie Edgar is also bringing in with him a tremendous amount of experience. Max Holloway, is one of many guys who have been bigger than Frankie Edgar. We can't forget that Frankie Edgar won the belt at 155 pounds and had some success taking down even a huge guy and a four-time All-American wrestler like Gray Maynard. So I am actually going to go with an underdog pick. I think Frankie Edgar gets it done by decision against Max Holloway. I'm not saying it's going to be a dominant performance necessarily, but Frankie Edgar will find a way to win. I think there's a reason why Frankie has been asking for this specific fight for a long time. I like the way he matches up against Max Holloway. Max, a tremendous fighter, but I think him coming off a loss, Frankie coming in pretty fresh, being away for a little while, I think the stars are aligning here.
Dean Thomas joins us here on the Luke Thomas Show. What do you make of the ending of that fight? First of all of us think that the stoppage was completely fair. We think that the I know Dan shook his head after the fight, but we think it was the silly, if I can call it dumb, Fortnite dance. I don't think you can look at that performance by Dan Miragliotta, Dean, and say Dan was somehow unfavorable towards Greg, can you?
No, I think people are just always constantly looking for reasons to hate on everybody these days. I mean, I've never had a problem with Dan. Like Dan came back in the room and he talked to us, and I've never had a problem with it. I don't think that he was, being malicious towards Greg after the fight. Now, obviously, like when Greg did the dance, he probably was looking at Greg like, man, this immature, childish, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's kind of a childish dance. And I think that he was probably just shaking his head and just, at the fun of Dick Greg was having. So I don't think nothing from Greg or from Dan for that. But I thought the stoppage was fair. I mean, you can't sit there and take 30 shots to the head and expect them to just let it go.
The Greg Hardy fight, there was so much build-up for that fight that I wish it would have went a different, more, you get to see more.
Yeah.
But I was happy for Greg, man. Greg's a good dude. As much shit as he gets, the dude is really, really a good dude. You know what I'm saying? I believe people deserve second chances. So I'm happy to see him succeed, man, and make his name in MMA for sure.
Yeah, I have no complaints about the stoppage, though. It was like something like 30 some odd unanswered.
He wasn't reacting.
Yeah, so
exactly.
I had no problem. But I agree with you. I would have liked to have seen more. He got the whizzer and he stopped the takedown, but I would have liked to see more of a performance from both of them because it would have been more fun. But yeah, it was still a good fight nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure. I thought Juan definitely, I thought the stoppage was good. I felt like, Juan was in the moment. He probably was upset because he felt like he wasn't out. But, dude, the ref told me, and I'm sure they told all of them the same thing. If I tell you to improve your position and you're taking a bunch of unanswered shots, I'm going to stop the fight.
Right.
He wasn't doing anything. He held on to a single, and he never advanced. So I agree with it 100%.
How will you react if he actually gets a title shot before you?
I don't know. I don't know, Errol. I don't know. I don't know. That was something if they actually did give him a title shot above me. If I look at my resume, compared to his resume, he just fought Ben Askren. I consider him amateur of the game, and it's mad. It's mad. So let's see what they come back with, and we go from there.
You consider Ben Askren an amateur, really?
He was a four Errol. Like probably name on his record, probably like 2-3 good people.
So you weren't impressed with that knockout?
Now that was good. That was a good knockout, but
he dips the head into a knee like that. Like, but it was a good knockout. I can't take nothing from it. You know what I mean? I'm not a hater. It did what it did, and that's it.
So maybe the best thing for you would be Colby Covington wins on August 3rd. They finally give him that title shot, and they do you versus Masvidal, #1 contender.
That'd be good. But I also fought Usman as well. So
Sure.
If that does happen, then I hope Usman beats Colby. Then I'll beat Masvidal. Then I can fight Usman.
But
That's the perfect.
Are we saying right now though, Leon Edwards is not accepting anything other than Jorge Masvidal in a title shot? Is that what you're saying?
That's it, Errol. There's nothing else. That's the fight. So I am not interested. I'm not taking a random fight again, and that'll be it. So it's either title shot, the Weasel, or that's it.
What do you?
I'll sit down and I'll wait.
So today we started nice quick strength and conditioning this morning and a nice meal, and then we had super hard big glove sparring, boxing drills, MMA drills, and then 4 hard rounds. And in between that, my man Nick got me all prepped up. Go back in a little bit. No gi with Coach Daniel Vandelay and pads with Coach Kush. So I eat a lot of food, all good stuff. You guys got to refuel. I know a lot of people have been asking me about the diet and the cut. So you see I'm eating a lot of food, just a lot of vegetables, a lot of good fruit in between for energy and carbs. Drinking my BCAAs and protein and carbs after hard workouts. And this will obviously get a lot smaller as we get closer to the fight. So
I've been reading a lot of things online, on Twitter mainly, what people think of all this. People are throwing Jones under a bus already. Some people are coming to his defense. The people that are coming to Jones' defense are also getting shit from the masses on Twitter. You know, a lot
coming to his defense.
I don't know. There's a couple of people saying, hold on a minute, we don't know all the ins and outs. I did see that Brendan Schaub said, hold on, you got to remember, these charges are brought to us by somebody that goes by the name of Cinnamon, which I thought was actually pretty funny. But then some people coming out and talking shit to Brendan Schaub as well for making light of it. It's like, come on, Jesus Christ. But here's the thing. If you look at it from the outside, it is alleged. Okay, first and foremost, these are alleged. So you can't, condemn the man too soon. Now, does Jones have history of this type of behavior? Yeah, of course he does. I think that's why people are like, oh, okay, here we go. It was only a matter of time before something like this happened again. He's had controversy surrounding him. He's been involved with the law. He's had hit and runs, you name it. There's certainly been a few incidents, so people aren't surprised. But the other side of it is that here's a guy that's very, very famous. He's a world champion, and he's in a strip club, right? And people, unfortunately, there's some people out there that want to take advantage of people and try and sue them and bring lawsuits against them and just get a payout. It happens all the time. Happened to Mike Tyson. It's even apparently seems to have been happening to Conor McGregor. I read of certain lawsuits here and there, but then we don't hear of them anymore. Maybe he settled them out of court. So there is that to consider as well before we cast judgment too soon.
Apparently, it's only a $300 bond that he was being held on. He was supposed to show up for a court date. He did not appear, so a warrant was issued for his arrest. However, the court sent a letter to Jones's address, and it got sent back to them. So there's a very good chance he had no clue he even knew that this court date was on the list.
But this charge is still there, though. She did file a criminal complaint saying that he, assaulted her.
Yeah, so it's one charge of battery. He's going to need to, go through the process with that.
The fact that he couldn't finish this girl, does it say anything about Jones's finishing prowess since he's come back?
Well, certainly just lately he has been struggling to finish his opponents, and he couldn't even take out a cocktail waitress, cinnamon or no cinnamon, you know what I mean? That's easy pickings, that's low-hanging fruit. This is a light heavyweight champion of the world. I'm more ashamed of the fact that he didn't choke her unconscious and get the finish that he requires than allowing her to go and make a formal complaint that evening. She's been at least disorientated, covered in blood, needing the hospital, unconscious in a pool of spit and blood. But no, she was able to walk down there and make a charge.
I don't know. Is Jon Jones slipping? Is this the end of Jon Jones's reign of terror?
Once upon a time, he would have ran her over with a car. Okay, I'm just saying. Once upon a time, he would not have been fit to make a statement.
The old Jon Jones would have killed this bitch.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I mean, look at the mess we've got to deal with these days. If you look at it from the outside, it is alleged. Okay, first and foremost, these are alleged, so you can't, condemn the man too soon.
I love you, man. You say something like this for me. I love you. See you soon, boy.